Back, it is still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's start with the election matters as the governorship of the election of 6 governors today have been affirmed by the Supreme Court, and they are His Excellency Inowa Yahaya of Gombe State, and His Excellency Dr. Abiodun of Ogun State, His Excellency Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, and His Excellency Obasani of Kaduna, His Excellency Nasiri Idris of KB, and His Excellency Sharif Oboriwori of Delta State. Their elections have all been confirmed. 5 APC governors there and 1 PDP governor's election, affirmed by the Supreme Court. Now, there's been, of course, reactions following those affirmations, but let's start with that of Dr. Abiodun very quickly. We may not have time to roll through all of them. The All Progressives Congress APC in Ogun State has lauded the judgment of the Supreme Court affirming Governor Dr. Abiodun as governor. Now, the party described Abiodun's win as a long-awaited judgment. APC spokesperson in Ogun State, Tunde Oladunjoye, disclosed this in a statement today, Friday. The ruling noted that the judgment served the cause of justice. Now, the party's chairman in the state, Yemi Sanusi, congratulated Mr. Abiodun and the Deputy Governor, Noimot Salako Oyedele, on the verdict by the Apex Courts. Yes, basically that is it. In fact, quoting them, they say, "We salute the incorruptible and courageous justices of the Supreme Court for upholding the concurrent verdict of the lower courts. They have shown that truly justice lies within the judiciary." You would recall that, and Dr. Abiodun's tribunal has been the one election, as a matter of fact, was hugely contested, especially by the PDP, who maintained that the election was marred with a lot of election malpractices and rigging and all of that. That was the allegation. And there were other issues that were, contestable in that election, and including even when the case went to tribunal, they even went as far as saying that, the tribunal, the governor had bribed the judge who gave, the verdict on the case. And the judge eventually died a few weeks later. May he so rest in peace. Well, let's go straight to Nasarawa State now, where protesters now broke out there because of what's going on there. So now, one of the roads blocked by protesters is the Lafayette Jos Road, where they burnt tires and chanted anti-government slogans. So, before we get started, I don't know if I should give a preamble to this Nasarawa State election, because you know that this protest started from when INEC declared the winner, even before the winner was even declared, and that the APC's candidate was the winner. There was already subtle no agree on the background. Well, let's just go through that. So some residents have stormed the streets of Lafayette, the Nasarawa state capital, to protest against the outcome of the Supreme Court judgments that affirmed the election of Governor Abdullahi Sule. Now, one of the roads blocked by protesters, as I said earlier, it was the Lafayette Jos Road, where they burnt tires and chanted anti-government slogans. Now, it was learned that shops, business centers, and schools within the area were hurriedly closed to protect lives and properties. That was the situation or perhaps still is the situation in Lafayette, Nasarawa State. Yes. So, according to reports, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, upheld the election of Abdullahi Sule of the governor of Nasarawa State. That is the governor of Nasarawa State APC. Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, in the lead judgment, resolved all the issues identified for determination against the People's Democratic Party's candidate and its candidate, David Ombugado. Now, the court therefore dismissed their appeal. So on Tuesday, it was reported that the Supreme Court had reserved judgment on that issue. So I hope that, we followed that. So Justice Kudirat Kekere-Ekun, who led the 5-member panel of the Apex Court on Tuesday, announced after lawyers to parties made their final submissions that judgment will be reserved and parties will be notified when, the judgment will be given. And of course, the judgment took place today. So the applicant PDP and its candidates sought to set aside the November 23, 2023 judgment of the Court of Appeal, which reversed the earlier judgment of the election tribunal sacking Governor Sule of the All Progressive Congress APC in March 18, 2023 governorship election. So basically, the tribunal sacked the governor, and the appeal court, retained him, but the PDP went back to court and said, you know what, Supreme Court, make on a turn around and tumble this judgment by the appeal court, and please let the governor remain sacked as it were with the tribunal judgment, right? Okay, so that was the case. Okay. So there's a lot about this Supreme Court judgment with Nasarawa State, and there's been lots of reactions following the judgment, right? But as we speak right now, there's been protest in Nasarawa State. So you would recall that when the election results were announced for Nasarawa State, I don't even know how to start the story. It was almost like PDP was on the lead in that election result, and boom, it looks like what people call, some people allege that it was more like a daylight robbery in Nasarawa State, that just two words had outsized results that changed the electoral dynamics. So, so it looks somehow. So the people of the state said, no, this results from these two words cannot make this change. We voted XYZ, and then people went on the street. If you remember, after that election result was pronounced, some women in Nasarawa State even went on the street to protest naked, if you remember. Yes, and looks like they are not tired of protesting, because they're still not happy even with the Supreme Court judgment. So they're out on the street again protesting, and of course some shops and businesses are closed down at the meantime following that result. Well, we do hope that normalcy will return to the state as soon as possible. But let me just give you a hint of what's going on in Nasarawa State right now. Take a listen. Like sounds from Nasarawa State at the moment. I would have said sight and sound, but unfortunately you can't get the sound. It's just you can't get the sight, but just the sound. And you could see, I mean, their presence of the Nigerian police, all over, especially the major road where the protest is ongoing. Well, that is it. That's what the pulse is like right now in Nasarawa State. As I said earlier, we do hope that normalcy will return to the state as soon as possible. But let's go straight to other conversations. Yes. So, still concerning Nasarawa State, the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule, whose election has been affirmed by the Supreme Court today, Friday, said that the protest against his Supreme Court judgment that affirmed his victory in the March 23 governorship election will not change anything. More like, if when I like, not gonna protest from today till thy kingdom come, it won't change anything. Supreme Court have put me there. I am going to continue to be there, so nothing will happen. Okay. So the governor said that the Supreme Court is the ultimate and final court, adding that those who appreciate democracy should take the apex court's verdicts in good faith. Now, this is as Governor Sule, alongside the immediate past National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, and the immediate past Governor of the state, Senator Tanko Almakura, have paid a thank you visit to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa Abuja shortly after the Supreme Court affirmed his victory. And asked what his reaction was to the protest in his state over the Supreme Court judgment, Sule said, quoting him now, Nasarawa is a state where we have or had over 600,000 votes, and we won with over 340,000 votes. So you will know that over 200,000 people did not vote for us. So if out of these 200,000 people who did not vote for us, and other sets of 1,000 people are protesting somewhere, then you will know, because it's a day that that not everybody will be happy. So more like, it is normal for people to be displeased by the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment. So there is nothing to worry about, right? So in every state where the Supreme Court passed judgment, in every one of the states, you will find some people happy and some other people not happy. But however, not in every state did we see protest like this. This is just me adding that now. Quoting him further, he says, but I think people who understand what democracy is all about will understand that the Supreme Court is the ultimate and is the final. And those who appreciate or respect democracy should leave it right there, because protest or not protest will not change anything. The Supreme Court has already passed its judgment. So in our case, when we lost at the tribunal, we told everyone that nobody should protest, and that's why nobody protested. But that is a level of maturity that you will see from one political party or another. Well, he went on and on. He says, we are a very mature political party, the APC. We are the ruling party in the country. We are the ruling party in the state. We are showing a good example. So that's why we will not protest. So he said, well, let's just rest it there. And that's it there from the governor of Nasarawa State. But hey, let's move to other matters arising, because, I mean, it doesn't look like all is pretty well in the country, as we're still seeing pockets of kidnapping and other insecurity cases here and there. Right now, there's a story that gunmen attack Benue community, kill 4, including 2 soldiers. So it looks like it's still going around. At least 4 persons, including 2 soldiers, were killed in an attack on Okokolo community in the Agatu local government area of Benue State. Now, the soldiers were reportedly responding to threats of attacks on several Agatu communities on yesterday, when they were ambushed by the assailants. According to witnesses, the attackers targeted the military men, resulting in the death of 2 soldiers and leaving 1 seriously injured. The injured soldier was promptly evacuated to Makadi for treatment, while another who sought refuge in the bush was rescued at an adjacent village. Now, Godwin Abu Edo, the representative of Agatu people in the State House of Assembly, confirmed the attack, stating that 2 people were killed and several others were injured. Edo refrained from providing details about the soldiers, stating a policy of not reporting on military casualties. Now, former Agatu lawmaker Sule corroborated the attacks on the community and the ambushing of military personnel responding to the situation, as the attackers continued to shoot sporadically from across the river. Uchiku residents, both women and children, reportedly fled the villages in Agatu local government area, awaiting military reinforcements. Now, the Benue State Police Command spokesperson, SP Catherine Anene, stated that she had not been briefed about the incident. May the soul of the gallant soldiers that have died in this cause rest in peace. It is sad. Very, very sad. Very sad. Meanwhile, Joseph Haya, the special advisor to the state governor, Hyacinth Alia, on security and internal affairs, confirmed the attack, but said he had no details. He said, it's true, there was an attack on Agatu community yesterday, Thursday, but I don't have details for now. However, the deputy governor and security chiefs in the state have gone there for on-the-spot assessment. In previous years, the state witnessed several attacks on several communities. You would recall that Benue State has been very badly hit by these, headers. The State Commissioner for Information in Ilagwa in 2023 said over 5,000 people were killed on the state within 7 years. And if you follow stories very well, you'd recall that that's the reason why the former governor of the state, Pr0test, had ensured that, he put out the anti-grazing bill to stop open grazing, anti-open grazing bill to stop open grazing. Perhaps that would curb or curtail the issues with herders and farmers, which have resulted to thousands of people dying in that state over the years. Again, may the souls of the death rest in peace. Moving forward, again, kidnappers still same Thursday night stormed the Nigerian Army post housing scheme in the Kurudu area of Abuja, abducting 2 residents. That is Nigerian Army post housing scheme. They don't even fear. They reach where they know say Army dey gongo. The abductees include the wife and one of the in-laws of a lawyer, Cyril Adiku. The incident, according to a neighbor of the victims, occurred around 10 p.m. in Phase 2 area of the state. Now, the neighbor, Austin John, who spoke to journalists, recounted the harrowing experience, stating that the kidnappers entered the estate, shooting sporadically, and abducted the 2 while the Adiku managed to escape. This is coming barely I mean, shortly after the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, said federal government would not condone any form of bandit attack in Abuja. In fact, he said, we will make Abuja very hot for you people. But then, as he made that statement, this happened in the evening. What's going on? John described the event as traumatic while stressing the fear amongst residents throughout the night, with security measures being taken by the state management and the subsequent arrival of army personnel. John notes it all started about 10 p.m. We suddenly started hearing gunshots, and immediately we knew something was wrong. I quickly went out to make sure my gate was locked. Then we heard the gunshots in the barrister's house, and then we alerted the estate management, who immediately swung into action in a short time. Army people came around and started shooting too. But before they came, the kidnappers had taken the wife and one of the in-laws of the barrister. Now, this is really traumatizing because we could not sleep throughout the night due to fear of the kidnappers coming back. President Tinubu should please help Nigerians put an end to the barbaric act by these kidnappers. So he said. Now, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command was yet to make an official comment concerning the development at the time of the press release. Kidnapping in recent times has been rampant in the Federal Capital Territory, with dozens of residents being abducted almost daily. I mean, we're still looking at a fresh attack, of so many of them. Recently, a 13-year-old teenager, Folashade Ariyo, was kidnapped alongside 10 residents of the Sagwari Estate layout in Dutse and in Alaji area of Abuja. And Nabiha Al-Kadriya, a 400-level student of Ahmadu Bello University's area, was kidnapped alongside 22 others in Buhari. This has, however, led to outrage among Nigerians calling for an end to the act by concerned people, including us, including you, including me, all of us. Well, Lagos, these are the hot topics that we're tracking this evening. Let's open the phone lines right away to take your thoughts and reactions. It's 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions. So, say sometime around 8 o'clock on the dot, I would have Dr. Kike Oyekomi join me. She's a consultant psychiatrist and psychologist. So she'll be joining us. Let's look at how people can cope in this very difficult time mentally. How you can keep your mental health in check. Because apart from kidnapping, another thing that has been very rife recently is that of suicide cases. A lot of people have started taking, ending it all just for peace to reign. And is that really the solution to the problem? But before we go there though, phone lines are open, Lagos. Let's begin to take your thoughts and reactions and the conversations that we have. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Pr0test. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good evening, welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Pr0test, thank you very much.
Who is this?
My rights and my envelope.
Who am I speaking with?
I received my Joy Musa.
Oh, Joy Musa. Okay.
I received my envelope. I received my rights. God bless you. God will bless all the people that supported you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
God will surprise you. Surprise us for 1st January. God Almighty will surprise you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Amen. All right. Would you like to chime in on the conversation? Go ahead, please.
Yes, when Boko Haram, Nigeria happened to us, everybody thinks that so far it cannot affect me. I'm in a good place, I'm in a security place, I'm in a place. It don't reach everybody now. It don't reach everybody now. Nobody wants to talk. They won't call for radio before. Nobody affected me. They will be looking at facts, nobody. Like nice, nothing wrong to reach people. That is why we can affect decisions that the government.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Joy. All right, phone lines are still open. Lagos 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. That is 0700 903 903 903 and 0700 903 9039. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. I'm Precious.
Good evening. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Fever. I'm calling from Nasarawa.
Fever, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, I'm Precious. Please, I don't know if it's possible I can speak to you privately. Well, I don't have an Android phone.
That means you have to call after the show because okay. Is there a problem?
Okay.
You can leave a text message. Leave a text message on this one. Let me quickly read it up later. But ensure you leave it before I leave the studio.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, and all the best. Bye. Hello. Hello, are you there? Good evening. Okay. All right. 0700 903 903 903 and 0700 903 9039. So, good evening, Precious. Supreme Court will cause anarchy in Nigeria because of the biased judgment giving in favor of Progressive Congress. Leo from Lagos. But he did not state when they also gave in favor of Labour Party and PDP now. They also did now. Remember, right? That of Delta State is PDP. Abia State is Labour Party. You did not say anything. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah, my name is Kingston. I'm calling from Yanapaja, Lagos.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Yeah. Concerning this kidnapping of a teen, my dear, the teen is getting out of hand. Imagine where military people based, they still have the guns to come inside there. That has shown that even other places is open for them. It's only God that can save the Nigerians in this mess we have found ourselves. I pray that God, all those ones they have already adopted, that God will, in a way, He does His thing to rescue them alive. Because no soul is any soul that is lost. The people that want it will definitely have a pain in their body. I pray let God just, guide and protect them wherever they are and also rescue them alive. That's all I have.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Thank you so much. All right, Lagos, let's keep taking your thoughts and reactions on the conversation that we are tracking this evening. And this says, Osa says, when a part of Nigeria wanted to live without kidnapping school students or shooting people like what we have in Benue, the military went in with full might. Now, innocent people are being killed in a whole community, and militaries are nowhere to be found. I don't want to believe that the unity of Nigeria is more important than the lives of Nigerians. Without Nigerians, there will be no unity. Security is way important than Buga dance. Don't remind me that Buga dance now. I left it now. It's a simple building fire. We cannot put simple building fire that we cannot put out. In Nigeria rather. God, I beg you. Also, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hello, good evening to you.
Hi, Precious.
Hello, Remy. I hope you don't want to talk about the Buga dance, so please. Please don't talk about
it's the least of my worries.
Please let it not worry you. Because in fact, let me add in Jesus' name to it so that it not worry you.
Let me say amen to that.
All right.
Concerning the verdict of the court, you said people should be okay with the verdict since it went the way of Labour Party in some states.
Did not complain when they went in favor of that's what I said.
But that shouldn't be the bone of contention. What should be is the merit of the case. Why was
did you follow that Nasarawa state issue very closely and that of Ogun State? There's a reason why I fingered those two states, right? You know what happened there in those states.
Okay. I know you made reference to Abia State. You said it went the way of Alex Oti, but we saw what happened during the election. It took 3 days before that woman, despite all the pressure from Abuja, we saw what happened. So Alex Otti had all the reasons to win the election. One, people voted for him. There are facts, there are empirical facts to back it up. So the basis of him winning the election wasn't based on technicalities compared to some states. Look at Plateau State, for example. A single court giving conflicting verdict. They affirmed that of the governor. But they
did not. The Supreme Court affirmed. It's the appeal court that cancelled both the governor and the lawmakers. Remember,
using the same constitution,
using the same constitution. It's just that the governor is lucky that his case ends in the Supreme Court.
He's lucky.
The lawmakers are perhaps unlucky that their own case would end at the appeal court, which has given that judgment that the Supreme Court have now upturned. Do you understand?
Luck should be the yardstick of getting
want me to say, my brother?
Verdict.
My brother, man, what do you want me to say like this?
It's so disappointing that the judiciary has stopped being the last stop of the common man. That you can't have the hope that you get justice based on the merit, not technicalities. So you get it so appalling. Look at the case of this state. What was this state? It was based on technicalities. One of the states that got the verdict today. Technicalities. Why technicalities? Why not the merit? They are setting a wrong precedence, and it's going to haunt this country in the long run. It's going to haunt this country.
Are you there? Hello, Remy? Remy, are you there? Hello, Remy, are you there? Okay, I think something is wrong with your audio. I appreciate you anyway. Are you there, Remy? All right, thank you so much. Okay, all right. We always appreciate you. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court in this case is the final court of justice for the case of the governor, and the appeal court is that for the case of the House of Assembly members, whom have all been pushed away by the appeal court. Sad as it is, right? Hello, good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening, Mama.
Yes, please, welcome. Sir?
Good evening, Ma.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
I'm calling from Sherry.
I can't hear you properly.
I'm calling from Sherry. My name is Fred.
Fred from Sherry. You're welcome, Fred. Go ahead.
Question. Help us get the health servicemen, our health servicemen that rule this country, that they should help us to rise up against this insecurity. You can see how they are killing ministry, a whole soldier, a whole Nigeria soldier, giant of Africa, that fought for Liberia, fought for South Africa to get their freedom. See how they are killing us. See where corruption keeps us in this country. All of them that keep us warm. Those servicemen are in this country. They are keeping quiet. They should rise up. Help us to beg them. They should rise up. Rise up for God's sake. Put an end to this insecurity. They can do it. They have all what it takes to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, on YouTube, I see you Jide of 4 Igwe. Then Ola Adewale says, those people in black robes that are politicians first must not be the alternate. And X2323 says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, X23. And then Ola did ask, does Nigeria need mental evaluation? We shouldn't. And he said, Nigeria, help yourselves out, for the leaderships are deaf and perhaps to your SOS times. That's what you're saying. All right. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, Mr. President.
Sir?
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sir.
Darlington, how are you, sir? Happy New Year, sir.
Mr. Darlington is not here today.
I would like to connect with satisfaction this evening.
You would like to do what? Yeah, go ahead, sir.
To connect with satisfaction this evening.
I didn't. Sorry?
Are you ready, man?
Go ahead, please.
Please. Well, I have Alan was saying you need to get that by force. Like, what can you stop for it's better. Because let's find solution. What we can do. People will go back to somehow religion. And we have the president of religion, the president of peace, president of West, president of us, so that we can be able to live because I've seen it like it's very big time for us to live together. If we go for religion, it will be so good. And at the same time, this is a religion. I don't know whether they're happy that people go around and all these, what you call them, bandits, they're killing people. And they know the people that are doing this. If you don't want to bring them up, they don't want to bring them up. I remember our foreign president, Abuja, he said they are killing their people. Okay, what they are doing now? Is it good? They're destroying. So if they are happy from their people, they're destroying. So, they can exploit their own. Everybody goes somewhere. Please. It's a condition. Hello?
I can hear you, but it's just that your network is so bad.
Yes. And what I'm saying is a tradition. They know the people, they know the body, they know about the king. They know what to bring them out. They know what to change them. Why are we together? And the president ransom. If they are calling for the how they do that, when he was a governor, he was paying them salary. So this is Nigeria to not see that for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. The network is so bad. Perhaps you try to call the WhatsApp line. That looks like it would be better because I was practically struggling to hear you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pr0test.
Hi, welcome.
How is everything?
We're fine, thank you.
My name is Prince.
Prince, where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. Yes, please.
Hello, Precious.
Yes.
I'm calling from Ejigbo.
Okay, Prince from Ejigbo, welcome.
Please, I need a job. Please, I need a job. I'm a forklift operator, terminal truck operator. I need a job. Since June, I have not been working, and I have 4 children. I need to take care of those children. Please, I need a job. Please, anyone hearing me that can assist me for a job, I will be grateful, please. I'm a very hardworking man. Please, I need a job, please. Please, Precious. Kindly help me, Precious.
All right. I hope that somebody who has an opportunity for you out there would hear you and do something about it and help out.
Thank you so very much. I'm grateful.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let me go back to my WhatsApp messages now. This is Hi Precious. This Lukman from Sule. I have envisaged that kidnapping in Nigeria would to an extent when kidnappers will start, or will get to an extent, you mean, when kidnappers will start invading people's houses and kidnap them for ransom. Now, we are there already. I will also tell you for free that this criminality will not be limited to certain areas of the country. Rather, it would spread like bushfire if capital punishment is enacted to contain it. If it is not enacted to contain it, you mean? All right. Thank you. And phone lines are still open. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. So this here says okay. So this says, good evening, Precious. Supreme Court will cost. Okay, you said that. I say Alex Otti won the governorship election in Abia State. Forgive me, my voice is bad again. I'm struggling to talk. I say Alex Otti won the governorship election in Abia State, and there is no need for the Supreme Court to affirm him. And there was election in Nigeria, and there was Leo. I'm not going to say that in you wrote there. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Madam Precious.
Sir, welcome, sir.
My name is Peter Ufiko.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
From
Go ahead.
Yeah, on the Supreme Court judgment, there is being said that the Supreme Court is a conservative body. So far, so good. They have shown their conservatism. But be that as it may, I will also appeal that this should also go to Fubara River State, where they should at least confirm his election as the governor of River State. That is that. Then, on insecurity in Nigeria, just as the military has said the other day, opposing the masses in a way that no grief for anybody. Then they are saying no grief for terrorism, no grief for robbery, armed robbery, and things like that. So I believe too in the axiom that says that the price for liberty is perpetual vigilance. People should be very, very vigilant and very cautious, of their surroundings and people who come to their surroundings, especially new people who they don't know before. So this is one of the ways to actually curb insecurity in Nigeria. Also, the government should be able to arm the police, and then the people themselves should also be able to give adequate information, to the security agents. Though it has been said by some people, including me, that even there is sabotage within the military. You understand? So I'm appealing that there should be serious information gathering, and then there should be a way of monitoring the monitors. Maybe in security world, they will know what I'm talking about. That is, those people who are securing us, there should be a way of also monitoring them. You understand? So that there be no sabotage, or the sabotage should be curbed to a very large extent. So this is my own contribution for now. Thank you, my sister Precious, for giving me this time to talk to you. God bless you.
Thank you, Alex Osifo. Thank you. All right. Okay. So I'm going back to my phone lines now, because the lines are still open. Okay. This message here says from Dayo. Dayo says, Dayo, I hope I can read your message today. You said, I want to give credit to your president. Nigeria is secured. No kidnapping, no bandits, no Boko Haram. There is food, no inflation, free and credible election. INEC and judiciary are doing very well. There is light everywhere. Investors are staying and clapping. Everybody is rejoicing. The youth are not jackpying. Journalists are free and laughing. These are the praises of the low-grade minds. No, abuse somebody now. And eye service propagandists. Are you not in a nightmare? I won't join their bandwagon. I rather say it as it is and not hypocritical with the truth. Just like you, journalists. All of us have collected stray bullets with you. Okay, say there's a saying: anyone that see and support evil will not depart from him. As a result, as usual, continue. Blessed are those who do not expect from this government, but they shall not be disappointed. It's a shame. The worst of us may be ruling the best of us. That's what you said. I appreciate you, but I just wish you can just put out your message straight to the point without letting us go through all that. Lagos phone lines are still open: 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 9039. Well, in case you're just joining us, let's run you through some of the hot topics that we are looking at this evening. Bandits storm Abuja estate, abduct 2. That is inside the estate too, around 10 p.m. That's when this happened. Now, gunmen attacked Benue community, kill 4, including 2 soldiers. So 2 soldiers and 2 civilians is still going on. And hey, did I tell you that Supreme Court affirms the governorship candidacy of 6 governors? And I had earlier mentioned the names of those governors as Governor Inuwa Yahaya of Gombe State, Governor Dakwa of Ogun State, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, Governor Obasani of Kaduna State, Governor Nasri Idris of Kebbi State, all of APC, and Governor Sheriff Oboriwere of Delta State of PDP today. But following the Supreme Court affirmation or judgment today, protests broke out in Nasarawa State. As you know, people put out, started burning tires on the street and doing, good grief for the Supreme Court judgment. It's not surprising if one followed that election in Nasarawa State, how, it was almost like a close lead for the PDP. And then, something happened along the line and boom, the APC wins the election. And then, even then, when the result was announced, people protested. In fact, women came out naked and protested. They said they did not vote for this candidate. There's a lot about that Nasarawa issue. I don't want to go ethnic or tribal or religious in that Nasarawa issue, but it just looks like some of this may be what is playing out in Nasarawa State. However, the governor said, if you protest from today to tomorrow, till thy kingdom come, then nothing will change. Supreme Court is a final court and it has given judgment, and he's not even expecting you to be happy. So whatever you want to do, you should go ahead and do it. Supreme Court has given judgment. He's not expecting everyone to be happy with him anyway, but then it is what it is, right? Hello, good evening to you.
This is Remy calling back.
All right, hi Remy, we lost you then. Go ahead.
Can't you see we sound helpless with the way things are going in this country? Like we are so helpless.
We do.
All we have to do is just hope for a miracle to happen. Look at this, the issue of Nasarawa State. From the day they had their election, people protested when the result was read out. And people knew who they voted for. They thought something will happen at the court, because they were told to go to court and not to resort to self-help. But in the end, their faith got shattered. So if things like this continues across the country, hope this won't lead to anarchy. Because if you are being told to go to court, that once you can present merit of that case, the verdict will go your way. But it's quite the opposite. The way things are going. Look at the case of our president, for example. At the Supreme Court, you were told once upon a time we once took new evidences to give judgment, but in this particular one, they won't take new evidence. They told us to our faces.
Yes, which means, first of all, they said that Supreme Court is not a court where they take evidences like this, because it's something that the lower courts would do. But that even though that in the past they have admitted, or they had admitted evidences in the Supreme Court, but that in this particular one, but they did not tell us why we will not admit evidences in this one. They just said, for this one, we will not admit new evidences.
And we are still saying the same things. We are still saying the same thing.
I just re-echoed what you said.
Yes. So, who should we go to now? Since we shouldn't resort to self-help. Now the people are protesting. If this continues this way, it might lead to anarchy. And we don't want people to resort to self-help. But the system has been skewed. Like you've been rigged before the election itself. So the worst you can do is you can just shout for a few days. But the system has been structured to work for the powers that be. If this continues, this can lead to anarchy. Fine, we might choose to be prayerful that it will be our portion in Jesus' name. But we are acting towards what that can be. So if our political elite are wise enough, they either allow the people to decide who they want and stop meddling with the electoral process and the judiciary. Because what happened in this last election was symbolic. It was obvious to everybody. Yakubu did what he decided to do. He was challenged by Milayi and the likes when he was reading out the result. They told him the result you got from the state is quite different from what you are reading out. He said he was going to set up a panel, blah, 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 at that venue. Nothing happened, which means the electoral chairman can stand up and tell you this is who he decides to be the winner. Just as it happened across the state. The only reason I'm saying Abia State went that way was because of that woman. And we are not celebrating that woman enough. All by herself, she decided that no matter what will happen, she was going to stick with the result before her. And she did. People are not protesting in Abia State. People won't protest. Opposition won't protest because the result was clear to everybody to see. But other states, Nasarawa, for example, Rivers State, we were told a few days ago by a chieftain that Labour Party won, but we wrote the result. And that man is still walking freely on the street of Rivers State. It shows how lawless this country is. The law is only meant for the helpless. So you get, only the helpless must stick to the law. But the powerful can decide whatever they want to do at any time.
Hello, Remy. Hello, Remy, are you there? Hello? All right, apologies. I think we have network issues there. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening and welcome.
Yeah, my name is Bjorn. I'm calling from Janiki.
Bjorn, you're welcome.
Concerning insecurity, I'll forever blame former President Buhari.
Why?
He was so nepotistic. Yes, even in crime. Tribe was known for committing crime. He never did anything. And I'll give you an example. There was one time when a lot of people about 87 people were killed in Benue. He didn't go there. He was in Nasarawa. What did he say? He was saying that the Benue people should, he said they should accept those people as their brothers. Can you imagine? Feminization of what's name that one says it's better they should leave the land than dying. So if the seat of power is saying all these things, other people will do like, that means you can commit crime. And again, we have story of people that are not Nigerians came into Nigeria and they claim that they own Nigeria. So crime just in fact, I don't know. So that is why when we have a leader, the leader should be serious in fighting evil. Don't say this one's my child, this one's my religion, I will just leave it like that. A lot of things like that man did. Look at the country now. Now, they say if you get to a stage, look at kidnapping. If you get to a stage that they'll be entering people's houses, has it not been happening?
God forbid.
It has been happening now.
All right.
Even in Abuja, they'll just enter people's house. You understand?
Yes.
It was because when something started, they didn't have enough serious about it.
Thank you.
And look at where we are today. Nowhere is safe in this country.
Sorry.
Now, let Nigeria carrying guns. You say, no, they shouldn't carry guns. They should not carry guns. But criminals have AK-47, guns that the army are using. How come they are having those guns? Right. Who gave them those guns? I know, no. This country is not a country.
Thank you for calling. Apologies. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, Mr. Ola. Good evening. Good evening, sir. Mr. Ola, so you got those. Thank you so much again once more. Go ahead, please, and chime in the conversation.
Can I the video I received?
That's supposed to be private. That is supposed to be private.
Great job.
Can I contact you later to let you do that? You know, I would need your permission to contact you later for that, so that we don't keep talking about this. It's already passed.
Okay, let me just say this. Okay. By grace of God, we shall do more than that in your next birthday. God bless you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
You're
welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. But Mr. I don't want to talk anything about Nigeria matter.
Precious, I don't want... Anyway, what happened to Fubara's election? Why did they not say something about it?
Well, the court hasn't fixed a date for the hearing yet.
Oh, that's what I can say, but Precious. So I don't know what to say about Nigeria.
So that's the one you're waiting for?
Yes, because I want to come to Nigeria and visit you guys there. I don't want to be kidnapped. So I have to be careful for what I will be saying.
Nobody will kidnap you. Nobody will kidnap you. By the grace of God. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Okay,
bye-bye. Lagos, bye, sir. Bye. All right, Lagos phone lines are still open, but let me run through some messages very quickly. This says, good evening, Precious. A country does not value or obey its laws will never make progress. That's what it's saying. And Anicia says, okay. Good evening, Precious. My name is Usigbe Prince George. In fact, Usigbe, I'm coming to you just right after this call. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my sister, Precious. Mazi, Richard from Germany. About what is happening, the elections and the verdict by the Supreme Court, right? I think the structure is defect, and there is no way we can get it right unless the structure is repaired. I mean, the electoral process is defect. At my age now, I've never in any way, any time, heard that Nigeria conducted a free and fair election. At least 1979 till now, everything must end at the Supreme Court. And that is not democracy. That is not democracy, because democracy means people's choice. People go to ballot, polls or booths and cast their votes and wait for the result and get exactly what they voted for. You don't go to, 5 or 11 justices cannot decide what millions of people voted for. It's not done anywhere. The structure is defect. The way these people, the candidates, emerged as the candidate of the parties through the primaries and the election is flawed. So that is the problem. As long as we don't get it right from that issue, that primary, we can get it right. Conducting elections, whether 2017, 2027, or 2031, this thing is going. In fact, it's going to be worsening because the structure is bad. I'm looking in Nasarawa. People are not happy about the verdict of the Supreme Court, and now I read that 2 people have been shot dead by the police. People who were just protesting, and 2 people have lost their lives. I hope that naked lady did not die. I hope that naked lady did not die. I'm just hoping she didn't die. I saw that. No. But now breaking news from 2 people have lost their lives because there was a lady I saw them shoot who was protesting naked. She was just walking. No. Protest. No, that one didn't. She didn't die. But what I'm reading now from a verified X handle that 2 people have lost their life in Nasarawa State, which is not supposed to be like that. Why should people have the right to protest, to pour their anger, even if they are violent, as long as they don't carry guns, even if they are burning tires. Precious, I think you have been the way you look, like the way you speak. I think you have lived, in Western world. Here in Germany, there's on 4th of May. Every May is called chaotic day. That is chaos day. People come and vent their anger, on government policies, and nobody is shot dead or shot. You only arrest them. They are called the leftists. They come out and pour their anger on government. It's on May Day. That's Labor Day. So we should be very careful how we handle our people. They are not animals. So lastly, my sister, you look at how they will tell you that 100 or 90 million people registered to cast their vote, right? At the end of the day, they almost about 30 million, and they will tell that Nigeria is about 200 million or plus. Don't you see that something is wrong? That's where we had that problem, because you won't tell Nigerians that 90 million people registered, and then at the end of the day, only 30 million people casted the vote, and yet you want everything to be okay? No, something is wrong. That process is wrong. Until we get it right, we are going nowhere. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, let me run through some messages very quickly, because I already have my guest standing by. This says here, good evening, Precious. My name is Usigbe Prince George. Please, I need a job as a forklift operator. Since 5 months I am out of job. Please, I need a job. I can work anywhere, please. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If I can get a higher up or purchase keke, or higher purchase keke, that's what you mean, I am good to go. At least I can take care of my family and feed them. Oops. All right, I'll do well to take down your numbers. I do hope that you can get your miracle here.
This here says the kidnapping pandemic is something I have seen years ago. I remember telling some friends when then who I feel it's only something that would start and end in the north. And if you think Lagos is safe, think twice. Now, as you can hear in the news about kidnapping in Lagos, if terrorists have the guts to attack military base not once or twice, go to Kuje prison to free criminals, and none of the invaders were caught, how then do you think these criminals would find it a work in the park to kidnap people in an estate? Abuja, for that matter, the seat of power with all the military presence. I remember when there was a bombing in Abuja, then Jonathan was the president. There was a high security presence everywhere in Abuja, checking every vehicle. You can't stand at a bus stop holding a bag. People would move away from you. Why is same not being done now? When you've been around Lagos, I say when you move around Lagos, do you see any form of security presence to checkmate any form of insecurity? As long as the politicians have security in their homes and when they move around, what else matters? If this insecurity was caused by people from other parts of the country, the North and their group would be the first to wail and then ask that it's be curbed. But now nothing is being done. That's what you're saying. And there says, I agree with Remy. He has said my mind. What do you expect from your Dayo? Thank you, because I can't read that message, right? Okay, so I'll go back to Twitter now, where Chuka Ekwe says, good evening, precious. My people in Nigeria will not listen, see for themselves what's going around. It's all good. And Femi Bash says, Nigeria, Emmanuel Osi says, Nigeria is not practicing democracy. I don't trust Supreme Court in this Fubara's case. That's what you said. All right, just a few more calls and then we'll wrap up. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Welcome, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening, Madam Precious.
Good evening.
Yeah,
sir.
my name is Mr. Chris. I'm calling from Okota.
Mr. Chris, you're welcome. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I proceed. I want to talk about the insecurity in this country. Madam Precious, I don't think I am more Nigerian than you. Because whatever that is happening in this country is also affecting you also, in as much that you are a journalist. Sometimes you people even face it more than us.
I agree.
But of course, but the level of insecurity in this country is getting out of hand. And Mr. President and his apparatus, they are not doing anything. They are not doing anything. They don't care. That is the issue. They don't care. But I'm pretty sure they don't care. I'm telling you, they don't care. What is really going on in this country is really, in fact, and I'm precious. People are dying every day by day. Every day by day. Every day by day. And Mr. President, they are not doing anything. All are there is after 2027, spending money, squandering money. Look at, last time, is it not from your station we heard that they approved 3 billion in verification of, was it school children, this thing? Just only to verify, they map up 3 billion. But people are dying every day, even in hunger. Madam Precious.
Sir.
Who do us this? Who do us this?
Sorry.
How can we come? The issue is this. The man in power, he don't care because the issue is this.
No,
his lifestyle, even from origin. I know. I'm being civil. I know because the way the government have scheduled all those your work, anything they will come around. But the issue is this: the truth have to be said. The truth have to be said. In as much that you people hands are tied, the truth have to be said. It's not going to do anything. I'm telling you, the honest truth. All is there, he's for his pocket.
All right.
But I pray that God God Almighty will take control.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That'll be it then. Thank you so much. All right, Lagos. Our phone lines are still on, and we'll still keep taking your thoughts and reactions. But let's quickly switch this conversation. I already have Dr. Kike Oyekami in the house, and I want us to look at the suicidal rate right now, both in Nigeria and other parts of the world. It's becoming very alarming. Let's look at for those signs that we have to, see in people around us when they're really, really having it, or when they've had it, right? Let's look out for those signals, those behavioral patterns that we should begin to, that would make us begin to pay keen attention to them. Because I understand that we are all going through a lot in this country. Just a few days ago, or a few weeks ago, a banker, a young lady, just 32 years old, committed suicide inside the bank premises. She felt she's had it. She just couldn't cope anymore. She felt she couldn't take it anymore. And she thought that the only way out is to end it. Her name is Amarachi Ugochukwu, a 32-year banker. And one of this, new generation banks in Ikorodu. In fact, she left a suicide note where she said, nothing is working in my life. My figures are low. My brain is clogged up. The economy is getting hard. My decisions are wrong. My mind is messed up. The future doesn't seem bright at all. I see extreme hardship. I can't bear the pain anymore. And then she went out to apologize to her parents and then her siblings, naming them one after the other. Took a deadly substance inside the convenience of the bank, locked herself in there, and down she goes. As if that is not enough, another woman is also a case study. Incidentally, that's not from Nigeria, but that is not to say that we don't have more people in Nigeria involved in this. So a Zimbabwean woman recently killed 2 children and herself after a fight with her husband. Her name is Amina, 31. She fed her 2 kids, a son aged 10 and a daughter aged 5, yogurt laced with rat poison. And she also took the poisoned yogurt herself. Their bodies were found in their rented room. Now, Amina wrote 2 notes, one to her husband, in which she told him that he is responsible for her death and that of their children. Second, to her family, where she apologized for her actions, but said she is tired of life and the fights with her husband. And she told them how much she loved them. So many other people have told this line. There are people who have jumped into the lagoon. There are people who've been caught while attempting to jump into the lagoon. There are even those that don't make it to the news, that we don't know at all. So we can only talk about those that we know. How about those that we don't know? How about those that don't make it to the news? How does it really get this bad? So I have with me in the house Dr. Kike Oyekami. She is a consultant psychiatrist from Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Abuja. Dr. Kike, it's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you. So Dr. Kike is like a free string for us this night. Let's run through this whole issue about suicide. I mean, first of all, we know Nigeria is hard. Like, the economy is wearing gyms. Just like that suicidal note that Amarachi dropped, where she said the future isn't looking bright. Her figures are down. The economy is very hard. Meaning that the bad economy is playing a role, probably played a role in the decision that she took. Right. So how do we manage to cope through very hard and trying times like this? Because trust me, it's not easy for any Nigerian. I just got dollar today at 1,335 naira. Yesterday, I almost got it for 1,340. 370 naira. Not I got for 1,370. So it's not looking good at all. It's not. In fact, somebody even got for 1,004 something yesterday. So it's not looking good. It is. Do you understand? This is just because it's weekend, so it's looking low a bit. So as at this evening, it has reduced about 1,200 thereabouts because it's weekend. But after this weekend, it goes up back again, and all that. It keeps happening. What we do not know is, because we're a dollar-driven economy, more like it. Every single transaction that we run is tied down to the dollar, even to the market woman who is buying and selling unconsciously. But that's just one of the economic issues that we're going through. We don't want to look at the fuel issue. that we're facing. Now, it's almost with tears in our eyes that we buy fuel for our cars. And then the light situation is not even helping matters. Because for like 3 days, part of the reason why my voice is bad, for like 3 days, I said, okay, boom, inverter is not working. I got tired of running generator all through. There is no light, I can't sleep. And then you're stressed because it can't be done with work all day and then you don't sleep throughout the night and then you come back again. For some of us that we can't sleep when there is no lights. So, and then you go home, you keep running generator at home. You're buying fuel or diesel for those generators, which don't come cheap. How many Nigerians can afford all of this? It's become a luxury for Nigerians. So how do we cope through? You saw a man send me a note now. In fact, before he sent that note, he called. He said he has children, 5 children. He needs to feed them. He's a forklifter. Somebody on this show, in fact, one of the reasons I decided to call you, someone on this show sometime called me and said, sent a message and said, I need to talk to someone. I think I'm losing it. I think I'm getting to that stage where I am losing it. I don't want to commit suicide. I need to talk to someone. And I begged that person that day to call me. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the person's call. But one of the reasons I thought to call you to speak to us is because of this issue. People are having it to the zenith. They're losing it. How do we cope through this very trying time? Some people can't even eat.
It's indeed very, very trying. Even for people that have, they are also struggling, honestly. We must realize that to cope, we need to pay attention to our mental health. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Because it's your mental health that is going to be affected by stress. And it's your mental health that is going to help you to manage stress. So there's no way you need to be intentional about your mental health. And then when we say mental health, people think that because they don't have any disorder, therefore they don't need to pay attention. So when we talk about mental health, we're talking about mental wellness. Wellness is not the opposite of, I don't have an illness. For example, you might not have malaria, but you are not physically healthy, right? Yes, you might not have hypertension, but you are not physically healthy.
So your vital signs may be all right, but you're not
physically healthy. Yes. So the same thing applies to our mental health. So the fact that you don't have depression, clinical depression, or you don't have schizophrenia doesn't mean that you are mentally healthy. So when we say mental health, we must really understand something first. Mental health is when you are able to think well, you have the right emotions, and you're able to manage your emotions and your behavior. So
it's like having the right cognitive reasoning.
Yes. Cognitively you are well, emotionally you are well, and behaviorally. And how do you know? When your mental health is on point, you are able to be productive, you are able to live up to your potentials, you are able to have healthy relationships, you are able to cope with stress, and you are able to adapt with changes, because change is an inevitable part of life, and stress also is inevitable. So people must learn how to manage stress.
This stress thing, it's not all of us.
See, we cannot run away from it, and these things it's not as if they are unsurmountable, right? Yes, there are difficult things that we are confronting now, but if you are intentional about it, you would know that you can still pull through. You don't have to kill yourself, right? If you're intentional about it, that's the key word, right? There's something called mental hygiene, just like physical hygiene. Physical hygiene, every day we shower, we brush our teeth. Precious, please, don't brush your teeth for 3 days. What's going to happen?
No. I won't dare.
As simple as that brushing is, it goes a long way to protect our teeth, our buccal cavity, our mouth. That's just a simple thing, brushing the teeth, but it's a powerful thing. The same thing happens when we are talking about protecting our mental health. There are little things that may seem inconsequential, but they are very powerful when we adopt them as lifestyles. I've mentioned number 1. The first thing is you have to be intentional. You have to be deliberate. It's not going to fall on your laps. You have to want to maintain and support your mental health. Number 1, value yourself. You see, when you value yourself, you are going to pay more attention to yourself.
So more like self-love?
Yes, self-love.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. I mean, if you value a property, there are some things you wouldn't do on that property. If you value something, most of us value our phones. You just don't keep your phones anywhere. You buy your phone jacket, you protect them. You don't allow your children to play with your phones because you don't want them to crack your screen. So we should also protect ourselves. And then take care of your body. Take care of your body, because your body is like your engine. Take care of your physical body. Taking care of your physical body means that you have to eat well. Now, we know that food prices are something else. But the little money you have, make sure you spend it wisely on nutritious meals. This is not the time to be buying all those fizzy drinks and foods that will not nurture your body. Because your brain is the seat of your mental health. If your brain does not have the right vitamins, proteins, and all these things, it's not going to function well. That's very, very important. So the little money you have, instead of buying alcohol or smoking or doing drugs, buy fruits. Whether, yes, everything is expensive, but you still have to try. You still have to try. That's it. It's like, because if you don't eat, it's like you have a car and there's no fuel in it. It's not going to go anywhere.
Okay, so you had said something about being intentional.
Yes.
How do I get saddled with so much responsibilities and so much thought and worry, and then I'm still intentional about keeping my mental health, healthy?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Now, there are 3 pillars. Cognitive restructuring. Restructure your mind. I'll explain that. I mentioned the first one. Yourself. Take care of yourself, your physical self, your body.
Okay.
And then the third one is management. Time management, financial management, relationship management, family management, everything, digital life management. How do you manage all those things? Let me start with cognitive restructuring, because everything starts in the mind. Now, when you are confronting a very stressful situation, the way you are
now, the situation now being whether your relationship, your financial life, anything at all.
Any type of situation, whether it's financial hardship, whether it's insecurity, whether it's family wahala, anything, whether it's the fact that you are out of job or your money is not enough, right? The first thing is that the way you appraise any situation will determine your reaction towards it.
That is the way you accept the situation.
Yes, the way you look at it.
Your view about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let us be more positive in our minds. Think more, yes.
So more like it's not my portion kind of thing.
Yes. Think more positively. Be realistic. Be optimistic with some.
By realistic being that you will accept the situation, but then again you'll be positive minded.
Cannot change.
Okay.
There are some things that you cannot change. There are some things that for now you cannot afford. Know that, because you see, many times, you need to distinguish between your needs and your wants. For now, you might not be able to buy new shoes or new clothes. You still have some old ones, because you see, when people really sit down to really analyze the problems in their lives, that's why I say you must be intentional. Take a notepad and a biro, a pencil, and write those things. Write the problem areas in your life. Write your needs and your wants, those things that you desire. And then make a distinction between needs and wants. Needs are the things that you need to survive. Survival first. Wants are those things that, yes, we desire, but we don't need those things to survive, to stay alive. Now, it's for survival first. A lot of times people worry over what they want. People worry that, I don't have a car, or I cannot buy fuel in my car. If you cannot buy fuel in your car, take public transport. Sometimes you can even walk. Yes, sometimes you can jog. Maybe you want to go to the junction to buy something. Instead of driving your car, you can jog, and that one is even a form of exercise. So cognitive restructuring, right, is looking critically at things in objective ways, not in subjective ways. Be optimistic. The way we view things, look at the cup as half full, not half empty. Because see, these are the things that we need to do. There is no magic around it. There is nothing. When we say mental health, keeping your mental health, people think that it's about highfalutin things. They are simple things, but they start with you restructuring your mind. How do you evaluate things? The problem we are passing through in Nigeria is very, very hard now, as in super, super hard. But are they surmountable? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Like, we just have to restructure our lives. I'm coming to that. So I want people to really, really understand that the way you think, the way you look at things, the meaning you give to things, the importance you give to things will determine how those things will stress you. For some people, it's because they cannot afford the usual fancy things. For some people, it's because they cannot afford the usual parties that they like, right? It is not about their needs, it's about what they want. That's number one. Then, coming now to the other part, that you manage everything that you have: time management, resource management, family management.
And you mentioned something about social media or something management.
Yes, digital life management.
Okay, digital life management.
Like when you ought to be resting your body, sleep well. You see, sleep is very, very important. Sleep is
what role does sleep have to play? In this situation.
You see, that night sleep is very, very important. It rejuvenates our body. It rebuilds the cells, because the body is like an.
By night sleep, now you mean from what time to what time?
Yes. At least an average adult must have at least like 6 to 7 hours of night sleep.
Inside this Lagos state that we are,
yes,
somewhere else.
You must
6 hours. Where do we get 6 hours in Lagos?
You have to get it.
Away.
Right? Yes. That is why you have to manage your time. Even if you cannot get it, maybe because of your work. When maybe weekends, those times, that's why time management is very key. You just have to do it. Otherwise, if you don't pay attention to your body will break down and you'll be forced to pay attention to it. So it's not as if, it's not doable. It is doable. You have to be deliberate. You have to be intentional. Sit down and write it down. It's not in your, don't make it like a mental thing. Write it down, because when you write things down, you are more intentional. But a lot of us just think about things. Think through things. There's a difference between thinking through and thinking about. What we do is that we think about problems. There are many problems that we can think through. Think about, okay, these problems that I have 5 problems. Okay, number 1, what are the problems? How can I solve? What are the solutions before me? What is the advantage of this solution? What is the disadvantage of this solution? Which is the best? That is how to think through problems. And then you'll be surprised. When you are intentional and you think through your problems, you will find that those things that looked so big before you, they're just like minor things.
All right, so let's go straight to the societal issues now.
Yeah.
If we have people around us, what are the signs that we have to look out for to make us understand that this person is beginning to go overboard, and there's something wrong, and this person may begin to tilt towards self-harm?
First, people must know that suicide is tied so much to mental health, because researchers have shown that over 90% of people that die by suicide actually had mental disorders that were not well attended to.
And by mental disorders, it's not like the people are crazy. When we hear mental disorders, they will just think the person is a mad person. Exactly.
No, it's not until you start walking nude, walking naked on the road, or picking rubbish from the ground that you are mentally ill. Right? There are different forms of mental illness, and they vary from mild to severe. Right? There are some that will not be so evident, to people around you. It's only people that are close to you that will really pick it fast, right?
Okay. So, but by mild, what are those mild symptoms?
Okay, like maybe not sleeping well.
That's a mental.
Yes, it's a poor sleep. Poor sleep is.
Tokiki, all of us have mental health issue like this now.
We all have mental health problems from
Are you serious?
time. Yes. There is a difference between having mental health problems and having mental disorders, right? That's why I said that wellness is not about, I don't have any disorder. It is about how well are you. It's like it's on a scale. So you can be on, let's say you can be 50% well, and you can upgrade yourself to 80% or 90%, right?
Okay.
Yes.
So at the minor step or the minor level, you can walk through it.
Yes,
you can walk yourself out of it.
There are so many self-help.
So you said sleep.
Yes, sleep is very, very important. Having good.
So once you're not having good sleep, either as a result of insomnia or anything, it's a sign that there's something wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
That's poor sleep is about one of the earliest signs.
So how about if you have the ability to have the sleep, but you just don't have the time to have the sleep? Is something wrong with you?
You have to make out time. Yes. And then sometimes too, when you oversleep, I'm talking about 2 extremes now, because there are some people that oversleep. When you oversleep, and that is not your usual pattern, there are some people that love to sleep, and sleep comes to them so easy. But when you are not that type and you oversleep, it might be that there's something also wrong. Yes. So it's not only when you are not sleeping well, but not sleeping well is more common, commoner than sleeping excessively, Now, sleep is
because this sleep issue is not just us, even children. Some children don't sleep till
the problem with children is that they are not well regulated. Their parents leave them to watch movies, to watch
exactly. So they're used to not sleeping till late hours of the night, and it becomes a pattern. Like their body clock is used to that. So it's not like they have mental health issue. Their own is normal. Let's begin to know now. All right.
It's the way their bodies have been regulated.
Okay, so it's just body regulation for them. All right then.
So
the other symptoms.
Yes. Now, other symptoms also would include things like the change in your eating pattern.
Food too.
Yes, food is very, very, very important because we need food to survive. So when there is a change, maybe you eat and you don't enjoy it, or you lose appetite, or you overeat. There are some people that are emotional eaters, right? And they eat because eating gives pleasure. Right, so maybe they are depressed, right? So they now overeat, and then they begin to add weight. So if they tell you this person is depressed, this person is adding weight. So depressed people don't necessarily have to be losing weight. It could be the opposite, yes. So any significant change in your sleep or eating pattern is very, very, very important.
Are you serious? That's an early sign.
Yes, it's one of the early signs.
Okay.
Then in your thinking pattern, maybe you are now more focusing on negative things. Something happens and it's the negative ones that you focus more on.
Dr.
Right?
Kike,
you have more of negative emotions.
Are we not all over negative emotions?
See, negative emotions they are normal, right? They are normal. We feel them from time to time. But the problem is when they are enduring, when they begin to affect us functionally, when they begin to cause us distress, then that is a sign that we are being overwhelmed by those things. Yes. We all have that, and that is one of the reasons why people don't pay attention to their mental health, because mental health symptoms are common. We all have them, from time to time. When things, maybe you don't have money now. Of course, for that time, you might feel a bit sad, that day. But if you talk to yourself that if I don't have money today, I'll have tomorrow. If I cannot buy this today, I can buy it tomorrow. And then you are just out of that sadness. So that sadness is a mental health symptom. It's a natural emotion that follows when things are not going on well. But it is when it remains too long in your head, when it lingers in your mind, and then it begins to affect you functionally. You are not able to function as you used to. That is a sign that you are being overwhelmed. Yes.
Okay, and all of these are within the minor symptoms.
Yeah, I said that it's a question of degree.
Okay.
Yes. So you're like the sadness I mentioned, that's just minor sadness.
Okay.
But when the sadness now is so intense and begins to impinge on your functioning, maybe as a mother you cannot take care of your children, you cannot cook, you don't feel like doing anything, doing everything is like a chore to you, things that you used to enjoy before.
So you're losing interest.
Losing interest in pleasurable activities. Maybe you used to like to play with your children or watch movies or talk to your friends, hang out with them, just lose interest. And then when you begin to withdraw, things around don't give you that pleasure. Sometimes too, it could also manifest as confusion, right? You can't think through. You are doing something and it's like you are even forgetting what you're doing. You might be maybe arranging your wardrobe and you just lose track of what you are doing. Or you are in the kitchen and you are cooking and something is burning and you are in the kitchen and the thing is burning right under your nose. You have forgotten that, and then you start asking yourself, have I put salt? Okay, let me taste it again. When
that is not an OCD, like you do one thing and do it again and do it again.
That is when you have repeated thoughts or you have the repeated urge to check for something. You see, when we talk about mental health disorders, it's about intensity. Yes, when you are going out, sometimes you might think, did I put off my gas? It's natural for you to doubt sometimes. But when you know that you put it off and the thought comes, and then you still go, and then you go there, you check again, and then you are locking your door, you are going back again, you are locking your door, then that is an OCD. Yes.
Okay, so let's run through these. So how about so you said the intensity is what, so at what point should we now begin to get worried for our family members who may be going through this?
Now,
and what's the next step to take?
There are some people that will begin to speak negatively. So when you start hearing things like, I'm tired of this life, I'm tired of this work, I just wish Jesus would just come today. For Christians, a Christian might not take his or her life, but he might be depressed. because a Christian knows that if she kills or he kills herself, she will probably end up in hell. But when a Christian starts talking negatively, then it might be a call for help, right? And then some people will tell you frankly that I feel like killing myself, I feel like ending.
So for this girl now who committed suicide, right, what were the signs that her family members may have missed?
Yes.
Because just like you said, she did not just take the decision. It didn't just start. So there must be something that she may have been going through. So what are the signs that you think her family may have missed and her colleagues too?
Yes, any significant change in one's behavior, right? I know you to an extent. So I know the way you smile. I know the way you look at things. So those nuances, the people close to you should be able to know that there's something wrong. And then when people have negative emotions, it's not difficult to see. You know, when you are irritable, small things now would just set you off, and people would need to be walking on eggshells around you. You know, they'll be telling them that we don't know what we will do or that would upset her. So you have to be careful. Maybe you are a boss at work and everybody is running away from you, and it wasn't like that before. So all this withdrawal.
Oh, withdrawal too.
Yes, withdrawal from interaction with family members or friends or colleagues at work. The person who just wants to be alone. You know, sometimes you will see some people making definite plans as if they know that they are going to die. So sometimes when you see people giving away their possessions, their prized possessions, or sometimes people putting their affairs in order, you know that this is out of place. You need to be highly suspicious. And you see, when we talk about suicide, nobody should say, oh, it can never happen to me, it can never happen to my family members. Hey, when you encounter, you know, some stresses and you don't have that mental resilience to handle those stresses, you might actually become suicidal. You know, and then you know, most times people that actually die by suicide, they were conflicted even at the point of ending it. You know, yes. You know, sometimes people want to harm themselves, not with the intent to die, but with the intent to call for help. Some people don't know how to verbalize that I need help. So they know that when they self-harm and they don't die, people will know that
people will not help them, but they don't know to the degree of what their self-harm could actually, you know, cause.
They might miscalculate. Yes, some people
So are you saying that those people who actually commit suicide, not all of them actually wanted to die?
No, not all of them.
Are you serious? So some of them just want to threaten, you know, people around them, to alert people around them. But you know the problem we have in Nigeria. You may have problem and you be shouting and crying, I have problem. People say, well, is it only you? Me too, I have problem. You know, in fact, if you say I'm going through a lot, people say all of us are coming through a lot too. All of us are too. So it's difficult for people to really believe you, to know that it's gotten to that level for you.
Ignorance. People don't know. You know, this mental health thing that we're talking about, a lot of people are ignorant. They don't know the signs, you know, they don't know what the red flags, you know, when people are decompensating and tending towards a disorder. So when you see these things around, you know, withdrawal and somebody making definite arrangements, or, you know, and then, you know, people think that for somebody to be suicidal, that means that maybe the person must have been showing some serious signs. Sometimes, you know, especially depression can be hidden. You know, a lot of people, when they are depressed, they might not want people to know. Unfortunately, when especially when depression starts, you might not know. Especially if you are not so close to that person, maybe it's a colleague at work. So that was why I mentioned nuances. But the people that are close to that person will definitely know that there's something wrong. And then, you know, in this part of the world, we have this culture of, you know, I don't want to be the one that will speak. I don't want to talk. See, let us talk. As human beings, we are not supposed to function alone. We need one another. Nobody is designed to function alone. So be the first person that will talk to that colleague. If you notice that there's something wrong, don't wait until sometimes you are not sure, right? Then go to that person and talk to that person. You know, sometimes a lot of people are they because of the stigma associated with mental conditions. So sometimes people might not want to let people know that, oh, I'm actually in a state of emotional distress or mental distress. So because of that stigma, it doesn't make people to out.
You know, I'm coming to that stigma. You know that some of the ways. So all of this, some of the ways that we handle this, that we go spiritual and say that, you know, we need to tie the person to a rope and flog the person and then use. So just those things don't help.
No, they don't help. They don't help
at all.
Yes, they don't. They don't, because mental disorders are purely biological illnesses. They are coming from the brain.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's the brain that interacts with the world. It's the brain that interacts with our experiences. So the brain is the one that translates stresses. The brain is the one that orchestrates your response to stresses. The brain is the one that tells the other organs to release the chemicals that help us through times of stress. So it is your brain that is the organ of your mind. So your brain is the one that goes into an illness mode when you don't handle stress very well. So mental disorders are legitimate biological illnesses, like physical conditions like hypertension or diabetes or arthritis. Yes.
Oh wow.
So they are not spiritual conditions. Yes.
So no amount of flogging and tying rope and chaining would.
You are even abusing the patient. You are even abusing the victim. Yes, it's wrong.
All right, let me bring Lagos to this conversation. Phone lines are open. Let's get to hear your thoughts and reactions to, you know, about what Dr. Kike is saying. And should you have questions for her, please kindly bring them through. 0700-903-903-903. That's the number to call. 0700-903-9039. That's the WhatsApp line, but you can also call it. Let me take a few responses here. Yusi from Ijegu says, good evening, Madam Precious. This lady in the studio is on point. We run from testing for our mental health because of money. My question is this: where do we test for mental health and how expensive is it? Let's not go medical.
Even before you go to the hospital to test for mental health, these things that I have mentioned, you can even do self-test
on your own.
Ask yourself, am I sleeping well? Am I eating well? What is the quality of my thoughts?
Okay. Let me quickly take a few calls so that you can respond to all of those at once. Hello, good evening to you.
Hi, good evening, Precious Faulkner.
Hello,
Dr.
Faulkner.
Kike, hi, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
She's fine, thank you. She's fine.
I'm all right.
Okay,
so I'll jump right into it. Okay. So, Dr. Kike, right, everything you said is actually right, but there's one thing that is missing. I had this friend 4 years ago. He was not married then. He has a good job. So, around that 4 years ago, right, one night, his landlord came home and they found him he already hung himself onto the ceiling. So, but unfortunately, they were able to revive him. It was okay. So, two things it mentioned. It mentioned that all his friends around, people that he knows, they are married, they have kids, he has ambition to go into politics, but things are not just going fine. So I think most of the thing is that sometimes some people believe that they have to look at other people to see what they have accomplished.
Yes.
And
we judge our success from the success of others, or by the success of others.
That's the way you view.
Yes. So that was one. I think that was one part of it that actually triggers people with that are going into society. Also, the second one I was going to tell you. Up to this moment, I'm sorry to say, I really don't like people that goes to I'll say CAC people like that. The reason why I'm saying that is that when I was small, we had this one of our aunties that they told us then that she was a witch. So they took her to CAC church. And back then I was really young. So I remember what they did was they tied this auntie to the pole in the church with chain. And I'm saying, how do you know somebody is a witch? So up to that moment now, even now that I'm already grown now, I realize that all those things about the way churches they tend to proclaim certain things, and which is not true, which is false. So to me,
so that is attaching spirituality to things like this.
Yes, I would explain more.
Thank you, Faulkner.
She said something very fantastic. Your appraisal of the situation around you determines your reaction. What you see as stress is determined by the judgments that you place on that thing. So if you see that all your friends are married and they have cars and they have children, and you feel that because of that you are inferior to them, definitely it's going to stress you. That is why you're thinking. The way you think is very, very. That is the start point. So, I mentioned cognitive restructuring, because you see, when we talk about mental health, people think that, it's a big, highfalutin thing that maybe there's a machine somewhere that will do it. No, it is about you.
That it just plugs something in your brain.
Yes, there's a lot that you can do. The truth is that.
Okay, so Dr. Kike, just kindly help me hold that thought. Let's take a few more calls. Hello, good evening to you.
Hey, Pr0test.
Sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. Prince Akwachi, right?
Good evening to the guest in the house.
Yes, she can hear you. Good evening. Welcome.
3 things I just wanted to say. I would say 3 to 4. Okay. Number 1, when the guest is talking about kind of like mental hygiene, she means self-care, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Because it's only in Nigeria where you see people go to work, some work from Monday to Sunday, and the next thing, instead of taking care of themselves, the next thing they will tell you is they either want to go for one religious thing or the other. I don't have anything against Christians, so I don't have anything against Muslims. I don't have anything against anybody, but you see them, they go there, and then before you know it, things are compounded. Some of them don't even know that the noise from churches or from places that are noisy affects your mental being. They don't know that, but they take it. It's all in the name of worshiping God, not knowing that they can even worship God in their houses, and God will listen to them. Another thing I wanted to say is, when it comes to suicide, I've told people several times that people who have suicide ideation, okay, their brain becomes foggy. As in, whatever you are saying, they're not listening to it. But sometimes, even you see some people, they say, okay, instead of looking for an expert or a professional to deal with it, they'll say, okay, they'll take their children, or they'll go to church, and then they start listening to pastor, and then the next thing, the pastor start preaching to them about heaven and hell and all that kind of a thing. At that time, they are not listening to all those things. Whatever the pastor is saying, they are not listening to it. The thing is, Nigeria needs to know that there is a difference between religion and taking things in reality.
Thank you, Prince Akwachi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So let me quickly run through some messages here from YouTube. This says, Mr. Triumph, I see. Okay, Mr. Triumph says, I see that Nigeria. Okay, he says too much sleep also means laziness too. Not just mental health issue. That's what he say. Yeah. So he doesn't mean laziness. He doesn't.
It depends. You have to be contextual now, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then Ola Adewale says, please be cognizant of your mental health, Precious, please. You people don't know you stress me when you call me APC woman leader. Yeah, people are affecting my mental health. And Chibogo says, Madam, I disagree with you, ma. And then Godwin at 10 says, please repeat the number again. It's 0700 903 9039. That's the WhatsApp line, 0700-903-9039 or 0700-903-903903. But let me quickly run through some more messages so that you can, respond to them as much as you can. This says, Precious, well done. You're doing a good job. Our country is very, like Prince Akwachi. Okay, yeah, he said, Mr. Polino says, it's just a few of us that stops him from taking the extreme decision. Andrew then says, I heard something new from my life recently and I want the therapist to help. We have been married over 5 years and I have 3 kids. I was trying to make love with her and she wasn't that interested. Before you knew, our baby cried and she quickly stood up and became uninterested in the act. When I asked why, she said when a mother hears the cry of her baby in the act, she becomes uninterested. Is that true? I'm sorry, I'm laughing, Andrew. This is not about. It's not a laughing matter. Well, would you like to react to that very quickly?
What, that's instinct, right?
So is it true that a baby's cry will just take you off the mood immediately?
No.
That's exactly what.
But he mentioned that he wasn't interested.
She wasn't interested before.
Yeah. So the baby now cried. So that was a fantastic excuse for her. Yes.
So is it that now? Is it that her assertion is that when a baby when a mother hears a baby's cry, that it makes her lose interest sexually at that time. Is that correct?
No, it's not. It is not.
Because he wants to be sure if that is correct. So it was just an escape route for her from the act at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
So she was just running away, like one of the many lies we tell, to run away from the act. Okay, I just want us to keep that straight and come back and continue to do. Yeah. Okay, all right. And then he says, may God bless your guest, Dr. Kike, for all the insight she has expressed. And he says, wishing you a blissful weekend, Comrade Tosin Williams. Okay, so let's go back to UC, who asked how expensive mental health evaluation is and what you need to do.
To take care of your mental health is not expensive. There are things, incorporate them as lifestyle. That is called proactive coping. A lot of people wait until they encounter stress before they now start looking for ways to deal with the stress. You have to incorporate it. That is why. So
what are those checks we need to run ourselves before we even go as far as getting to the hospital?
Check yourself. Ask yourself: am I sleeping well? Am I eating well? How do I react to things? If you get easily annoyed, maybe a child is crying and that sets you off. You shout when you don't need to shout, or at work. You shout at your subordinates, or you know that people are not so free with you, then you should know that there's something wrong with you.
Okay, right? All right. Let me quickly run through this. Hello, good evening to you. Hello?
Precious.
Sir? Good evening. Welcome. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ade.
Ade, where are you calling from?
From Oshodi.
Okay, from Oshodi. Go ahead, Ade.
8 years now.
You've been what?
Since that time, I'm not okay.
You've been what?
I'm just feeling only. Hello?
We can't hear you. Can you help us speak up, please? We cannot hear you.
Are you hearing me now?
Okay, go ahead.
I said I lost my wife since 8 years ago, and I have 2 kids. But I'm thinking since that time, and after 2 years now, I lost my sight.
After 2 years, you now lost your sight.
And so I just to kill my grandmommy.
No, you can't kill. You can't kill yourself.
Please don't do that.
You can't kill yourself. No. So, Dr. Kike, someone like him now, what should he do?
Please.
He lost his wife like 8 years ago. He has 3 kids. And 2 years ago, he just lost his sight. He has 2 kids. And 2 years ago, he lost his sight. And, he's thinking that...
8 years.
Sir,
8 years ago, okay.
We understand that, yes, life is hard.
I lost my...
Life is hard. Is it still talking?
Yes, no, go ahead. So please listening, yeah?
Please, life is hard, but suicide is, you'll be giving another person the pain. Suicide doesn't take away the pain, right? Yes, you might say that if you kill yourself, you'll be free from that pain, but you have just passed the pain to your children and to your loved ones
who already don't have a mother,
yes.
And they will not grow without a father.
Exactly. So I would advise that if you're feeling this suicidal, please go see someone. Go see a professional, please.
How about if you can't afford it though?
Talk to someone.
Because finance is always an issue.
Talk to someone. There is always somebody to talk to. Talk to someone. Yes. Talk to someone.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, this really got me.
Can I respond?
Okay, yes, respond then. Very quickly.
When he was talking about some people work from Monday to Sunday and then they go to church and
yes, and they were saying yes. And you that you're a super Christian like this, I'm surprised that you're saying yes to this.
Time management, right?
So that means it's okay for us not to go to church on Sunday, but worship online. But worship online in the house.
No, the Bible. Okay, I'm not a pastor, so let me not quote the Bible now.
But can I not worship online at home?
It depends, right?
Okay.
But we can turn this one to a sermon now. Don't forsake the assembly of one another.
Okay.
But if you know that for one reason or the other you can't go to church, then you can do online, right? So the thing is that work. If you work from Monday to Sunday, and you don't rest your body, the money you are making, you are going to use it to heal yourself, right? So the thing is balance your time. Time management is key. You can't be doing night vigil every day and you don't expect to break down. You break down. That's the truth. God also does not say just be doing that forever.
So there was a reason he rested on the 7th day.
Exactly.
Oh,
so wow. God has even incorporated rest into our life. So we should rest. The body is like an engine. So we should rest. And then the other person also mentioned, I've forgotten what he mentioned. Now the lady mentioned church that she hates CSC. But madam, some churches
talking about how they tied people to the rope and all that.
I mean, they did that out of ignorance. Some churches are changing now. Most churches are changing now. They are more aware now. I know that there are still some churches that believe that once somebody is mentally ill, the person cannot be catered for in a hospital. The person needs spiritual intervention. There are still some churches that do that. In fact, I've even seen a patient who was flogged in a church and she lost an eye. I've seen a lot of horrible things, that they do to people out of ignorance. So a lot of things are changing.
All right, so Dr. Kike, very quickly, we don't have time again. How do we get help in situations like this? What kind of hospital do we go to? What kind of experts do we need to see? This says, can Dr. Kike share with us if there are specific foods that boost our mental well-being and how accessible and affordable our mental health care hospitals are? Thank you very much. Comrade Tosin Williams sent in that.
Yes. See, when you're experiencing mental distress, maybe you're not sleeping well, you're not eating well, you're not thinking straight, or extremely you are feeling suicidal or whatever, talk to your doctor. A well-trained doctor knows what to do. Okay. If he cannot handle you for mild depression and a GP can treat that. Okay. But when it's more intense, he might need to refer you to see a psychiatrist. And
when you say psychiatrist, you just say, he's a mad. Okay.
If you don't change your attitude and you are running away from seeing a psychiatrist, believing that that means that you are mad.
So let's get it straight. Are psychiatrists only doctors that treat only mad people? Because that's what people think.
No. Psychiatrists are just doctors that take care of the mind. Everything that has to do with the mind, whether you are not even sleeping well.
It's part of the mind, and a psychiatrist can take care of you.
It's not about the absence of mental illness. It is about functioning well, enjoying life.
So, Dr. Kike, if I'm consulting you like this now, it's not because I'm mad.
No, it is not. It is not.
Just want to be sure.
It's like a scale. You can be 50% well, and then you can upgrade to 90%. The more you upgrade, the better you enjoy life. Life is this once. Enjoy it. Live up to your potentials. You might not have money. And somebody that has all the money might not have good mental health, although the person is not depressed and the person doesn't have symptoms. But you are even more mentally healthy than that person. So it's not all about money. It is not all about money.
Okay, so how do we go about getting this help? You said we should see a GP and a GP can make referrals for us.
Yes. It's not something that it is expensive. No, it's not that.
Okay. But how about if we want to contact you now, in case people have questions for you because time is running, I have someone else to talk to.
They can send me an email. My email now, akoyekomi@gmail.com.
Okay, in case you want to do Dr. Kike an email, is at akoyekomi@gmail.com. She's a consultant psychiatrist, by the way. So it's akoyekomi@gmail.com. Yes, please do that. Yes, please.
Yeah, it's very important. Social support is very, very key. And when I say social support, it doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be that I have to give him something to show that I'm supportive. There are different types of support. There is companionship. Spend time with someone. Some loneliness also impacts negatively on our mental health.
Are we all not lonely like this?
It's not everybody that is lonely.
Okay, sorry.
So, call somebody, talk to someone, right? Informational support too. Giving people advice, giving them suggestions, giving them feedbacks.
So in that case, a problem shared is actually half solved.
Information, right? Maybe giving them information on how to deal with it. It can go a long way. And then emotional support too, showing care, empathy, concern, gives people that sense of comfort, that sense of reassurance that they are loved. All these things, go a long way in impacting our mental health positively. So social support is very key. As human beings, we are wired to be social. Nobody is wired to.
All right. So Dr. Kike, say you can be reached at akoyekomi@gmail.com. Are you on social media, any of the social media platforms?
Yes, but my address. Oh God.
You don't know the social media. Dr. Kike, you don't do this thing. You're not doing this Gen Z social life with us at all. Okay, so she's at akoyekomi. That is spelled akoyekanmi@gmail.com. That's her email address. You may want to send her an email if you have further questions. Don't ask me, Dr. Madam Precious, that doctor you called that time, please, I want to ask her something. I don't know anything. I'm not a mental health doctor. I know nothing. She's a consultant. One person don't go school, can't study medicine, so they reach consultants. Saying he go to school well. So he's at akoyekanmi@gmail.com. akoyekomi@gmail.com. Dr. Kike, thank you so much. But you're still around with me in the studio. Don't run away yet because I want to sell land. But talking about information, I have somebody who's brought us information about where to get the choicest land in Lagos and at a very affordable rate. So yes, Sunday AKO Inter is in the house with me. Sunday, how are you? From Kudos Home. Yes. How are you doing today? Very all right, so let's go. Give us information. The doctor said that information helps our life like this. So now that you want to give us information, for those of us who have accommodation problem, and I have small chicken in 1 million naira somewhere, and I want to start sowing it somewhere so that one day I can become my own landlord, so that my landlord will not be harassing me every day.
No grief for anybody.
I'm not. Police say I could not use no grief for anybody. No, not even grief for anybody. All right, so go ahead and furnish us with information.
Try and make sure that you have even a half plot of land is very, very important. Once again, my name is Sunday Okechukwu.
So talking about half plot, now let me take you by it, fast. Do you sell half plots? All along you've been telling us one plot. So are you saying that I can buy half plots?
I just make a kind of reference.
Yes. Not that if my money no complete enough, you do half.
I have to make sure that you.
See, Dr. Kike is signaling you. That means I can contribute half. Promise to contribute half. Two of us will buy. I will not share it into two. We'll build a small duplex inside it like that. I think you're seeing that the doctor is not helping you cognitively think well, so that you know that there is always a solution to a problem. All right, go ahead.
Okay. As I said earlier, my name is Sunday Okechukwu from Kudos Homes Limited. Kudos Homes Limited is a property company. We sell and buy landed property, both Lagos, Ogun State, and even in Enugu, and we have our lands nationwide. This is 2024, and if you fail to plan, you plan to do what? To lose. So please try as much as you can. Start with something this year, 2024, even if it's a plot of land. The slogan this year is no grief for anybody. Don't grieve for your landlord and have a plot of land. For you to be a lord, you need to have a land so that they can call you a landlord. So that is, let me be mentioning our properties that we have around. The number one is Kudos Villa. Kudos Villa is located at the Gwinbejileki and is sold for 11 million naira. And the title is C of O. We have another one at the Ijeoma Egwuatu. That one goes for 700,000 naira. We have this Abuja. People are rushing Abuja, the gatehouse, and it's already been fenced. Very beautiful place to be, and it's 700,000 naira. And we have a Ijeoma. Okay, I mentioned Ijeoma. Umuketu is 600,000 naira.
Only.
Yes.
Only because right now 600 is.
600,000.
About $500 does it?
It's below even 500. About $450.
$450 would do that.
So,
oh my goodness!
In fact, if you have a dollar now, is a very good.
You're just a landlord already.
And today is about 1,320 now, and it's still going up.
So, but it has come down this evening because I got cheaper this evening at 1,200. It's dancing. It dance a willow. Go ahead.
So now let's move to Coal City, Enugu. We have Fairview Estate, and that one is just 5 minutes away from Godfrey Okoye University and 20 minutes away from Akanibia International Airport. And it's a dry land. That one goes for 900,000 naira. And you can start with as low as 100,000 naira. So don't wait to gather millions of naira before you can buy a plot of land. So start doing something today. This is 2024. Buy a plot of land. Let me call our office address and our phone number to reach us. And the phone number is 091 634 08954. 091 634 08954. Or you can call me personally on 090 83 00 0091. 090 83 00 0091.
Okay, all right. So let's go through that route we used to go again. I like to be sure of how certain you are with your words. So in the past, let's know if there are people that you've allocated properties to.
Come again.
in the past, you don't allocate properties to your people before, not just doing advertisement. Are there people who have bought from you that you have allocated properties to? That some of them have already started building?
A whole lot.
A whole lot of them. Because we need to be sure. I mean, recently, Dr. Kiki, I don't know if you're aware, people are almost going suicidal because real estate companies are not allocating properties to them. So they've collected monies.
We are taking advantage of those people because we are doing those things that they fail to do. Because I don't know what it takes to allocate somebody that bought land from you. You're supposed to allocate the person that the person will use this land for the purpose why he or she is buying that particular land. So we don't waste time in there because it's part of what makes us different. Once you buy, we do what is called a standard allocation. And if there is anything delaying, we let you know, we communicate with you that maybe it's yet to be cleared or there's some paperwork that needs to be done before allocating. So, but we communicate with you, but we do instant allocation in those land that's supposed to be allocated. So that is it.
Okay, all right then. So that's not a problem at all. So when are your inspection days? Let's know.
Our inspection, we do inspection this year every Thursday and Saturday. In fact, we are going for inspection tomorrow. And our office address is 171 Egbeda Idimu Road, Lagos. And our website www.kudoshomslimited.com, and Facebook Kudos Homes Limited, Instagram Kudos Homes Limited. You can even type Kudos Homes Limited on your GPS and it will take you to our office. Let me call the phone number to reach us again. 091 634 08954. 091 634 08954. If you call and they did not pick, you just send a message to respond to you.
Okay, so for your inspections, why need to have paid you already, either by installment or in full, for me to go and see the land I want to buy?
Most time I advise people to come and see what you are buying,
even before I pay any installment. Yes. So I can just wake up and say, call you up and say, I like to come to your installment inspection.
Inspection is for free. Are you getting me? You come, we take you. Sometimes we even come to your bus stop and pick you and still bring you back at your bus stop. So so you don't need to pay. So after you check, or if you are not around, you can see somebody, or if you want us to do video call, we can call you while I'm on the side, and you see where you want to buy.
Okay, interesting.
And a whole lot of advantage buying from real estate. You don't have this Omonide, Wahala, or this some land grabber, all those kind of things. Maybe you are not around and your neighbor wants to start building and started, cut part of your land. All those things, you don't have to be scared because they have been covered. So we don't allow it to happen. That is why we are a real estate company. So a whole lot of advantage covers.
Okay, so I will not have to pay matching grant and owo enter, owo come out, owo foundation, owo decking, and owo window level. So that's handled and it's guaranteed. And then we're also guaranteed not to face it. I was going to ask for the title documents again, just to be sure.
So we have the ones that have.
So that we not run into problem with government. Tomorrow they come and tell us that,
when we are talking about this problem, the thing that is the people that are buying one plot that has the problem is we as a company. It's not an individual or something. So before we purchase any land that we are buying from either community or from Monile or whoever, we do our proper finding, because if something happens tomorrow or in future, and maybe our land is being taken over by government, we'll be the one that will feel the pain most, because it will draw the name of the company to the mud, and a whole lot of things will happen to the company. We may end up using our name. So we try as much as possible to do the right thing before we start selling any land, so that it will not happen to us. So, and have it in mind that those people that buy even a plot that will even draw your plot most than the people that buy 10.
Because na person last card be that one plot too.
So
na person last card be that one plus.
So we don't want it to happen. So we do our proper finding and make sure that your future is properly secured.
All right. Okay. So run us through the properties again, and then their prices and then your numbers.
Okay.
So we run along.
We have Kudos Villa, 11 million naira, and we have Abuja Ikorodu. Please try and visit Abuja Ikorodu. It's just 700,000 naira. It was 400, from 400 to 500 or 500.
And in December here that you came, it was 650.
650, from 650 to 700. And where it's going now is 1,000 naira. Maybe that's small. So
1,000 naira.
I mean, sorry, from 1 million naira. The next villa will be 1 million naira. So while you are waiting, it will keep going up. That is in fact, and you see how our economy is dancing Makusan, and the best way to save your money No, it's not in the bank, because you put it in the bank, the value will be depreciating. So put it in a landed property, it will appreciate so much. And almost 650,000 naira. Ijeoma Egwuatu, that one is 702 also, and the Enugu is 900,000 naira. So try and have one today. Number to call us is 091 634 08954 091 634 08954. If you want to speak with me direct, it's 090 83 00 0091. Let me call that again, 090 83 00 0091.
Okay, all right, then thank you so much, Sunday. Okay, for being.
Ladies, don't joke with your future as you are.
Ladies now.
That money for Brazilian hair.
So they should come and buy so that they will bring something to the table.
So that if they ask you what you have to present on, you say I have 2 plots.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Sunday. Okay, I appreciate you. So, Dr. Kike, just before I wrap up the show, there's someone who asked a question here, and the person said that they disagree with you in the sense that they believe that mental health issue is what I disagree in the sense that suicide is a demon and very spiritual. Have seen a normal person, no matter how poor he or she made things. Perhaps I think this person tried to explain that suicidal issue it's a spiritual issue.
So if you say suicidal issue is spiritual issue, because you cannot fathom why somebody would want to take his life, right? So can you also say that people that do wrong things, like people that embezzle or people that kill, is also a spiritual issue? Well, that's your belief anyway, but your thoughts come from your brain, they come from your mind. So for you to think that, okay, let me just end it because you see that there's no hope, you feel hopeless, you feel helpless, it's a mental health issue most times. Like I said, over 90% of people that die by suicide, research, I'm quoting researches now, this is scientific research, and science does not lie. So it's not a spiritual matter. So over 90% of people that die by suicide actually had mental disorders that were not attended to. Yes, and that's the truth. But some people still choose, even this mental health that we are talking about, so people still tomorrow will say that anything that has to do with mental health is in the spiritual realm. So people might just choose what they want to do.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Kike. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for giving us your pro bono services and advice here. We appreciate you a lot. Thank you. We do hope that that most times when I end my show, I'm always telling you people protect your mental health. And Dr. Kike, I've told you now, please protect your mental health. It is only this your mind that you have like this, so protect it. Don't let any pressure, any problem take the wellness of your mind away from you. It is very important that you guard it with all that you have. My name is Precious A. I look forward to seeing you guys again on Monday. Hopefully, do have an amazing evening and have a fantastic weekend. Good night.